Ellie, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing a very highly requested video which is showing you guys my nursing textbooks. Obviously I'm not going to show you guys like the minor subjects. I'm going to just show you guys the main nursing textbooks that I use that are basically my essentials. So I'm going to be giving you guys a little glimpse of first and second year, and I will also be giving you some tips along the way, so if you're interested, please keep on watching. So first, I'm going to be showing you guys all of the textbooks that I got from the States, because every single year I like to get 1 or 2 medical books because I absolutely love them and they are just so essential for me. I also just love collecting them because when I grow older, I want to have a huge library just filled with medical textbooks. Does that sound nerdy? Oh well. So I'm gonna start off with the very first textbook that I got, which was about 2 years ago, I think. This was before I started nursing school. So I got the Barrons Easy Anatomy and Physiology textbook, and I love this so much because all of the terminologies are just so much more easier to understand. They put it in such easy and simpler words that's just so helpful. So they got you covered from like the introduction, the levels of structure, from an atom to the whole human body, up to all of the body's organ systems. As you can see, I used it pretty well. I came in my very first day of school and I brought this, and everyone was so surprised because the teachers didn't even say anything yet. The teachers didn't tell us to bring any books, or we didn't have any assigned books, and they were like, huh, but siya may textbook na. So everyone thought that I was pabibo ever since that day, but it's all cleared now. Hindi ako pabibo. Everyone knows that now. Now, as for the Anaphy textbook that we actually used in school, I can't really show you guys because I got it in an ebook form. Plus, I didn't really use it that much because I liked this one better. It was just so much easier to memorize. It was easier to understand, and I think that's what's really cool about this. You can just easily understand this and kind of just absorb what it's trying to say. And then when it comes to complicated textbooks, you can just kind of use your critical thinking to apply what you learned from this book. I don't know if you understood that, but yeah. So this right here is my baby because it is my very first medical book. Moving on, the next book that I got, this was before my second year of nursing school. I got the Pharmacology Made Incredibly Easy. Now don't be fooled by the title. This does not have everything that you need to know about pharmacology, but it does help. As for the actual pharmacology textbook that we had for school, we didn't really use it, so I just kind of use this as a reference. Now what I really like about this is that it doesn't just tell you like the kind of medicine and what it does, it also guides you with the use of the nursing process. So if you don't know what that is ADPI. So ADPI stands for Assessment, Diagnosis, Planning, Implementation, and Evaluation. I don't want to dive too deep into that topic because you will learn about that in your first year of nursing school, but basically the nursing process is your whole guide to being able to properly take care of your patient depending on what condition they have. So this book just kind of tells you like what kind of medicine it is and what you should assess or what you should observe when it comes to a patient taking this kind of medicine. It tells you like some outcome goals or what should happen after they take this medicine for a certain amount of time. It tells you the implementation, like how your patient should take it, what you should follow, what you should do, any specific steps, like should they take the medicine before they eat? Should they take it after they eat? Do they need to drink it with something? So this book is really helpful, and it also teaches you the lessons using really simple terms. But of course you still need to have some prior knowledge when it comes to medical terms. But overall, I find this way more simpler to understand than other textbooks. Okay, so the next book is something that you have to buy. It's absolutely essential. You're going to be using it your whole second year, but I think you should buy it even if you're already in first year, because it's really hard to buy things at the same time that other students are trying to buy it because it might run out of stock. Or you're going to have a really hard time trying to find it. And it is my drug handbook. This is the McGraw-Hill Nurses Drug Handbook 7th edition. This is so essential. You're going to be using this in your classes, in your clinical rotations, when you write nursing care plans, when you write case studies. This is absolutely essential, and you need to have your own because teachers don't really like it when students have to borrow from other students. I personally don't mind, and my friends don't mind when we borrow things from each other, but I really do suggest that you get your own just so you're prepared. So this is kind of the same thing as my other pharmacology book, but this is more specific and it has more information. So basically it just gives you the medication, it gives you the action, which is like what it does, what this will have an effect on, what it controls. It tells you the availability, which means like what are the different forms of this medication. Is it a pill? Is it a tablet? Is it syrup? It also tells you the indications and dosages, which are basically what kind of conditions are these used for and how much you should give depending if they are an adult or a child, based on their age. This is an absolute essential as early as now. Please go get yourself one of these. If you're absolutely sure that you're gonna take nursing, go ahead and buy yourself one of these before it's too late. These next two are actually from my aunt, so hi Tita Pe, if you're watching this, thank you so much for letting me borrow these. I'm gonna start with Simply MCN. This is a maternity nursing, a reference and review book. So this is super duper helpful, especially in your second year, because in second year when you start your clinical rotations, you're most likely gonna be exposed first to the delivery room, which is where you're going to deal with pregnant women, women in labor, newborns, and all of that exciting stuff. So this pretty much covers everything that you need to know when it comes to obstetrics. Coincidentally enough, this is actually in line with my school's syllabus, so that was really lucky of me. And so thank you so much, Tita, for giving this to me and letting me borrow this. This was super helpful, especially during the first few times when I was still new to the delivery room. Now I'm pretty much used to it. All of my cases are complete. When you start clinical rotations, I think you need to have 3 handles, 3 cord cares, and 3 assists. So handles are when you help deliver the baby. Cord care is when you take care of the newborns. You're gonna give it its first vaccines. You're gonna dress it up. You're gonna put the diaper on it. You're gonna take its body measurements. And assist is where you help out with the vital signs of the mother. You give her oxytocin. You basically help or kind of just be there for anything that the other midwives need. And you need to have 3 of each to complete all of your cases. So thank goodness I am finally done. The second one for my tita is this Nurse's Pocket Guide. This is also referred to as a NANDA. This has diagnoses, interventions, and rationales. You are definitely going to use this in your second year, but I think in first year they already require you to have one, so go buy yourself one while you can. And basically this is going to help you plan out your nursing care plans. This is going to help you figure out what's the best way to treat your patient. So I'm just going to define a few of these. Diagnosis is basically like what kind of condition your patient has. Is it asthma? Is it diabetes? Is it UTI? Conditions like that. Interventions are basically what are you going to do with your patient, what kind of medicine is supposed to be given, any nursing procedures that you have to do. And then rationales are basically the whys. Why are you going to do this? Why are you going to give that? This is going to give you an idea of what you're doing. And as I always say, no patient wants a nurse that doesn't know what they're doing. So do yourself a favor and get yourself one of these, because especially in second year, you're going to use this throughout your clinical rotations. You are going to be writing a lot of nursing care plans, and I really do suggest that you actually take the time and make an effort to make your nursing care plans precise and correct and proper, because sometimes nakakatamad nga sila gawin because it is a really long process. But I kind of figured out that when you do it properly, you learn more and you'll just expand your mind and you'll get used to it. So this is an absolute essential as well. And lastly, this was actually my dad. So this is the Miller Kean, I'm not sure how to say that, Encyclopedia and Dictionary of Medicine, Nursing, and Allied Health. It's so thick. She's thick though. I'm not gonna lie, the easiest way to find the definition of something is just by simply Googling it, because in Google we trust. But sometimes I do like to use this, especially when I do essays or reflection papers, or when I do my case studies. I just like to use this because I feel like it's a little bit more reliable. Everything's just from one source, and it's just kind of cool. You feel smarter when you're using a book, you know. Okay, now I'm gonna show you guys all of the books that I have from school. Okay, a little tip for you guys: do not buy all of your school's textbooks right away. I do suggest you go through the whole week, finish all of the orientations for each subject, and just kind of see which one requires you to buy a book. Because I made a huge mistake during my first year. I bought all of the textbooks right away and we barely used any of them. Plus, you can buy the other textbooks from an outside bookstore, which costs you way much cheaper. So the only main textbook that we really used throughout our first year was this Koshier. Our teacher said it's Koshier, but I'm not really sure if it's Kosier, or Koshier, I don't really know. And Herbs, Fundamentals of Nursing, Concepts, Process, and Practice. It's really heavy, I'm sorry guys. It's like, this is basically the nursing Bible right here. And as you can see, I have all of these tabs. These are all of the topics. I'm not sure if it's all, but most of the topics that we covered during first year. So to everyone who keeps asking me what you should advance study about, listen up. So we've got the nursing process, which is ADPI, health assessment, asepsis, vital signs, diagnostic testing, medications, parenteral medications, hot and cold applications, restraints, and body mechanics. So this is basically the holy grail of all things nursing. As for the other books, they are mainly laboratory manuals, so those you do have to buy from your school because they are the only ones that are going to supply that. So let me just show you a few. This is the Manual of Nursing Procedures. This basically tells you like every single procedure and every single step that you have to memorize because we perform all of the procedures in front of our teachers, which is really scary. So we have this, which is the whole manual that you have to memorize, and then we have the Performance Evaluation Tool, which is where they score us on. So let me just show you a little, which one is this? So this is for essential intrapartum and newborn care, which is basically the whole procedure that you have to do when you're helping delivering a baby. So we've got the points here. The point system is 5 being the highest, 1 being the lowest for each step. If you miss one, you get a 1, and then the teachers can kind of make little comments here. So my score for this was 90. We also had an Anafi laboratory manual, but I think I left mine in my locker at school. But we also have this student checklist for health assessment in nursing, and if you guys watched my video entitled How to Survive Your First Year of Nursing, you would know that health assessment is all about the body functions, the normal functions, how you can observe whether or not a body function is abnormal or not. And this is the same thing as the Performance Evaluation Tool. It has the same kind of point system there, but it's all about head-to-toe assessment. So for health assessment, this was basically our main textbook, but I didn't really like studying from the book, so I printed out my own kind of little copies that I could write on because I'm not really fond of writing in those kind of manuals. So I made one for like each skin, hair and nails, head and neck, mouth, throat, nose and sinuses, thoracic, lung, breast, lymphatic system, heart, neck, vessel, peripheral vascular assessment, abdominal and musculoskeletal assessment, and neurologic assessment. So fun. Also, for everyone who wants to advance study, I really do suggest studying your anatomy and physiology because that's going to be your basic, like, standard knowledge that you need to know for every single subject, especially for health assessment. So do yourself a favor, while it's ECQ, study your anatomy and physiology now. So that's it for my first year books, and now we're moving on to the second year books. Yeah! My babies. Alright, starting with the ones we didn't use that much, this is Ethics of Healthcare, a guide for clinical practice. We didn't really use this. We were more onto our teacher's PowerPoint, so didn't get to use that. Next, we have Basic Nutrition and Diet Therapy. We didn't use this that much. We also just used our teacher's PowerPoints, but it did come with a little laboratory manual that we did use, so we had to buy it because it was a set. Ooh! We have more laboratory manuals that we need. So this one is the Student Community Handbook for CHN, which is Community Health Nursing. So in Community Health Nursing, everyone is assigned to a different family, and there are 3 stages. So once you're assigned, you have to interview the family, and then you have to come up with a nursing care plan and just kind of observe and learn about their conditions and what you can do about it. And third is the health teaching, where you go back to that family and you teach them about their health problems. And that just kind of sums up the whole semester of CHN. Okay, and then we have our RLE record, and RLE stands for Related Learning Experience. So this is what you need to have at all times when you do your clinical rotations. This is going to record every single thing, every single procedure that you've done, and your clinical instructor has to sign it with the date and everything, and this is going to serve as your evidence that you do have experience in a hospital and healthcare setting. So just be responsible when it comes to keeping your record updated. And lastly, for my second year is this trio right here. So this is the Pilitary, Joanne Silbert Flagg, Adele Pilitary, Maternal and Child Health Nursing, Care of the Childbearing and Child Rearing Family, 8th edition. And this covers your pediatrics as well as your obstetrics subjects. Everything is in here. This is our life right now. As of second year, this is what everything is about, even your clinical rotations. So expect a lot of maternal and child nursing care during your second year. It also comes with a little study guide and reviewer type thing where you can quiz yourself, but we don't really use that. So those are all of my nursing textbook essentials. I hope it kind of gave you an idea of what you may need to purchase what you may not need to purchase. I hope it kind of gave you an idea of what you must focus on when it comes to getting your textbooks. And if you like this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, hit that notification bell. Don't forget to follow me on all of my social media right here. I'm Ellie.